Hi guys, this is Allie with Stuck on You Crochet, and today we are going to learn how to do the striped linen or moss stitch. If you are joining for the Stitchwork Scarf stitch along, then this is block 6 that we're working on today. If you are here just to get an idea of how to do this stitch, then this tutorial will work for you too. But I am going to explain the directions according to the stitch along that we have going on, and I will share the link to that in the video comments, so if you want to join, then feel free to check that out. So we're continuing from block 5 here. In block 5 we had our waffle stitch, and before we get started on block 6, I wanted to show, I mentioned in the block 5 video that the waffle stitch tends to like to cinch, and you can see here, this is a good visual that shows that this puff stitch was an earlier block, and you can see it's wider than what my waffle stitch is here. So if that's happening to yours, if it looks like it's kind of cinched in, that's okay. We will block at the end, and that will pull that out a little bit. Now, if yours is really, really cinched in, then you may have done it with too tight of tension. But if it's just a little bit cinched, then that's okay. We will block it at the end, and we will get everything to the same size for the blocks. So for the moss stitch, which is also called the linen stitch, there's a few different names for it, but with this stitch, it's actually pretty simple stitches. We're just going to do a series of alternating single crochet stitches and chain stitches, and it creates a woven-like design. So it looks pretty neat across the front. In this block, you can choose to stripe the stitches by changing colors every 2 rows, or if you just want to stick with the same color, then that's fine too. I will go over how to switch the colors, but if you want to pick one and stick with it, then that's okay. So we're going to work off of this last stitch in block 5, and just like we've done with our other blocks, I'm going to pull the end of this last stitch out so that I can color change to the color that I want to work with in block 6. So if you're following the pattern instructions, then you're going to work with color F. I'm going to switch up my color and use this bright green today just because it's better contrast from the pink that I used here in block 5. So to get started, you'll join your new color, finish that last stitch of block 5, and then chain 1. And then we'll turn things over and we're ready to work row 1 of block 6. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to single crochet into the first space in row 1. Work a single crochet there. Then we're going to chain 1. And now we're going to skip this next stitch and we'll single crochet in the one next to it. So you can see by doing that, we're creating a little gap in between here. Chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet. Chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet. So like I said, the stitches are very simple stitches. It's just the pattern that you're working them in that creates this woven-like design. So continue working in that same pattern across the row with a single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch. Keep going like that all the way across the row. When you reach the end of row 1, you'll place that last chain 1, skip stitch, and single crochet in the final stitch space. Then chain 1, and we're going to turn things over. Now for row 2, we're going to stick with the same color, so we don't need to color change yet. We're going to work with the same color to go back across row 2. For row 2, we're going to single crochet in the first stitch in the first space right here. So we'll single crochet here. And now we're going to work into the stitch spaces, into those spaces that were created by our chain one. So you can see right here, I have a space here. So after I single crochet into that first stitch, now I'm going to place another single crochet into the space. So I'm working over the chain that I created in the last row. Then I'll chain one, I'm going to skip this stitch, and I'm going to single crochet into the chain space. Skip the stitch, single crochet into the chain space. So you'll continue working across the row, skipping that stitch, and then single crocheting into the chain space. And I know we're only 2 rows in, but you can kind of begin to see that woven texture that this creates. It's kind of like overlapping stitches. When you get to the end of this row, you'll single crochet into the chain one space, and then you see you have 1 stitch that's left. So you're going to single crochet into that last stitch. And on this final stitch, if you're working a striped linen or moss stitch, then this is where we want to switch colors. So pick up your next color. In the Stitchwork Scarf, you're switching to color G. I'm going to switch to this hot pink just for the contrast. So to finish this stitch, you start the beginning of that single crochet stitch and then grab your new color and finish the stitch with your new color. You can chain one. Now, we're not done with this first color that we used, but unless you want to carry the color up the side of the scarf, which I don't recommend, you want to snip that end, and you will need to weave these in. So you will find that with the striping, you're gonna have some ends on the side that you will need to weave in. So we've chained one, and we're ready for row 3. So now here in row 3, we're going to single crochet in the first stitch, then we'll chain one, and then we'll begin to work in those chain spaces. So here is my chain space. So I'm going to skip the top of that single crochet in the row before, and I'll work right into that chain space. Chain one, skip the top of the stitch, single crochet into the chain space. And continue working like this all the way across the row. You do want to make sure that when you're working your chains that you don't keep your tension too tight. If you keep your tension too tight, then this block will really cinch, and it will be hard to get it to block to the same size as the rest of the scarf. So if you find that your tension is tight and you're doing everything you can to loosen it and it's just not helping, then you could consider going up a hook size on this block. So here we're at the last stitch of row 3, and we're going to work a single crochet into the top of this stitch from the row prior. Chain one, and then we'll turn things over. You see me kind of tugging at the ends. You can do this as you're working just to make sure that nothing is too tight. You should be able to pull it across so that when we go to block, we can block everything to an even size. Now in row 4, we'll single crochet into this first stitch and then single crochet into the chain one space. And then we'll begin those repeats where we chain one, skip a stitch, single crochet into the chain space. So this is really just a repeat of row 2. And you'll find that that's what we'll do. for the rest of the row is we'll just simply repeat those same rows over and over with color switches every 2 rows. In my block in the instructions, I work with 4 different colors. You could work with more or less if you want to. There are 26 rows total. So if you want to play around with a different color combination or color striping, then that is a-okay. All right, at the end of row 4 here, I did a single crochet into my chain 1 space, and now I'm going to single crochet into that final stitch, and here I'm ready to add my next color. So I'm not going to go through all the colors because you really now are simply repeating this same pattern. So this is a very a quick video for this block because it's really just the same thing over and over that you'll work into those chain spaces and chain 1, and then you'll do that same thing in the next row, and at the end of every 2 rows you'll change your color. So give that a shot, and if you have any questions, then like I've always said, reach out to me, let me know. Feel free to shoot me a message or leave a comment, and I'll do my very best to help. But repeat those patterns, or repeat those rows up through row 26. And then when you get to the end of row 26, you can just mark off your stitch with a stitch marker. So we will move on to block 7 after that. So so that's it for this week. Very short and sweet. So I hope this was helpful, and like I said, let me know if you have questions, and I will be back with block 7.